we've not really used Google Meet a whole lot this year. And so things like recording a meeting was like a snap in Zoom. It's not that it's hard in Google Meet, it's just in a different place. So. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and get started with tonight's meeting. For those of you that were with us last year in our very interesting shortened COVID season, welcome back. Thank you for coming back. And also, I hope that you're ready for something completely different than what we did last year. So the production level is going to be much higher. The expectations are going to be much higher. And I think that it's going to be really enjoyable for everybody that's involved. So before we really dig into the meat and potatoes about the Winter Guard itself, I wanted to share with you guys a little video about WGI as an organization. Give me just a moment here while I switch some sound settings so that you can hear the video. The video itself might be a little choppy, but the sound should come across pretty well.
WGI Sport of the Arts is a nonprofit organization with a 40-plus year history of bringing together youth and the performing arts. As the world's premier organization producing color guard, percussion, and winds competitions, WGI's goal is to foster positive experiences for its participants by challenging them to a higher level of personal growth and achievement. The activity is supported by a network of sponsors, friends, and family that have guided the organization to a double-digit growth over the past decade. Each year, over 160,000 spectators fill arenas across the country. And during the World Championships, over 15,000 performers and 40,000 fans converge to support the pinnacle of each year's competition. WGI's reach now extends across the globe into Europe and Asia, with groups in 13 countries attracted to the organization's educational approach to competition. And while competing is a part of the process, personal growth for the participants is the ultimate goal.
Having a kid at the end of the season say, I can't believe I just did that. I never thought I would be able to do that. You know, to us, that's winning.
This has been one of the best experiences of my entire life. It's an amazing thing. It's a great thing to be a part of.
Because there's so much freedom in this activity. The only thing you're limited by in this activity is your imagination.
But WGI doesn't just bring success to youth in competition. They bring it to the classroom as well. In the past 25 years, WGI has raised over $500,000 in scholarship and grant money to further assist the educational growth of its participants. And each passing year only further ingrains the benefits of WGI into the curriculum of scholastic music education.
WGA finals, there's thousands of people, and these 14, 15-year-old kids are doing their thing. They're doing their show in front of all these people, and they look confident doing it. If you can do that, you can do anything.
One of the exciting things to me about the WGI activities is that there is a a camaraderie amongst the performers and a really positive interaction with the judges and the staff members. We're all here to support each other. We're all here to learn and grow. I think that's just really healthy and exciting.
All right. I apologize that I had not been sharing my screen. I got a text message with about 30 seconds left to go that was like, is there supposed to be a video playing? I'm like, well, yes, there was. But we'll put it out there online. And if you want to see the video part of things, you can definitely come back later and check that out. Were you at least able to hear everything? Can I get a thumbs up? You could at least hear the talking and stuff. All right, cool. Well, go back and watch the video yourself later. It'd be a lot better if you watch it on your computer anyway, instead of like super choppy, like it would be if I was sharing my screen when I was supposed to be. So anyway, that gives you a little bit of an idea of what WGI is as an organization. That is one of the areas that we compete in as a Winter Guard. The other circuit that we compete in is the Midwest Color Guard circuit. And so that's kind of our local competitive circuit, whereas WGI is the nationwide competitive circuit. And we'll get into a little bit of which shows we're going to go to and that sort of thing as we get a little bit deeper into the presentation. So just some introductions here. I'm Chris Vanderwall. I'm the director of bands at Plainfield Central High School. And as the executive director of the group, I get to do all the things that nobody likes to do. I am going to handle logistics and rehearsal facilities and transportation and registration and paying bills and paying staff and collecting membership dues and all the stuff that staff members are like, do I really want to start a Winter Guard? And then I go, oh, I'll take care of that stuff. And they're like, hey, let's start a Winter Guard. So I am not a person who spins things and throws things and catches things. You don't want me teaching your kids how to do that. It wouldn't go well. So I have a great deal of respect for our instructors. And you can see some of their experience, all three of them having a good bit of experience in both the drum corps scene as well as in Winter Guard. And all three of them are, teaching students in District 202 right now. Again, I'll post all of this stuff later. And so if you would like to check out some of the groups that they've been part of, please, by all means, do. I think you'll certainly be impressed with the experience that they bring to the table as performers. And also, I think just about all of you have experience with at least one of these people as your own instructor color during the fall. We're going to kick things off with clinics on Monday and Wednesday next week. One of these, I believe Monday is the flag clinic. Kelsey, jump in and just tell me I'm wrong at some point if I'm wrong. And then Wednesday, I believe, is the dance specific clinic. These are
flip-flop them.
Flip-flop, thank you. So Monday dance, Wednesday flag. And this is a time when we're specifically teaching students skills. So they don't necessarily have to walk in knowing all of these things. We're going to teach them at their clinic times. And then, of course, we want to see them grow and develop and practice on their own over the next few days. And then we'll go ahead and do auditions on Sunday, the 14th. As you can see there, as a Scholastic A Winter Guard, there's a maximum of 30 members. Right now, Kelsey, I'm sure you know exactly how many. How many people are registered so far?
25.
Okay, cool. So we're right there on the edge of having the maximum number of members in the group. Unfortunately, if we do have more than 30 students that want to participate in the group, we will have to make some cuts. That's not us. That's WGI. They literally won't let us compete with 31. So we would love to be able to have a spot for everyone. And if there are only 5 more people who register, well, then that makes things really easy on us. But if more people do register, then we might have to make some cuts. When students come to auditions, please make sure that they're in black athletic attire, like tights, form-fitting things that are appropriate for marching and movement. No jeans, no high tops, no sandals, no Crocs, but that's just my thing. In general, I say no Crocs. So we'll, of course, take time for everybody at the end if you have questions and that sort of thing. Or if you want to type a question in the chat, by all means, we can answer some things along the way too. While we're here, so that let's just kind of teach everybody a little bit or educate everybody. Scholastic A, what on earth does that mean? So there are 2 primary categories of competition in WGI, and they are scholastic, which is made up of school groups, and there are independent groups that can take people from anywhere. They are not specifically associated with a school. And so as a scholastic group, we are going to have only students that attend Plainfield schools or students that are homeschooled that are within our school boundaries. Those are the students that we're allowed to have in our ensemble. So scholastic groups do not compete with independent groups for obvious reasons. If you can pull people from anywhere they're willing to drive to you from, then you have a significant competitive advantage over someone who is pulling from students specifically at a school, or in our case, multiple schools. We were approved by WGI and Midwest Color Guard Circuit to combine the 4 schools into 1 unit. So that's not something that you need to worry about. If you know a little bit about the activity, applied, approved, everything's good to go there. So the scholastic part, hopefully we understand now. The A part comes next, and there are 3 classes of competition in WGI. A class is the introductory class. And even though some of the skills that students are exhibiting and learning and performing are certainly not introductory skills necessarily, that's the entry level of competition at WGI. From there is open class, and that would be the next level up in skill. And so it's not like fall marching band where groups are in competition based on their band size or based on their school size. It's based on what the ensemble is attempting to achieve, both from a weapons skill set as well as what they're trying to achieve on the floor dance-wise. The nice thing about WGI is that they actually have a hand in maintaining that solid sense of competition, in that if a group is performing extremely well in A class and they look like they're ready for open class, WGI choose to bump them up to the next class, as well as open class groups that are performing exceptionally well that look like they're ready to be, evaluated as a world-class group. WGI can take that step. So you can start off anywhere you want at the beginning of the season, but then if it looks like you should be in a higher class, then they can move you up a class. As far as I know, WGI doesn't move anyone down a class. I'm sure there's probably a process for that. If you're going into a competition as an open class group and find out that you're just a little bit out of your league, I'm sure that there's an option to go that direction too. But I think most teachers and instructors are going to know what groups their ensembles belong in from the beginning. So from here, our rehearsal schedule is Monday and Wednesday evenings from 6 until 9. We do want students to arrive a little bit early so that they can come in and find all of their items, whether we have to move just flags or other weapons that we're using in the show. We're going to get to a point where we have to move the floor every single time. We've got to have time to get the floor set up and then have time to put it away at the end of the evening as well. So then Sundays, if they can get there again about 20 minutes early, should be plenty of time for them to get everything set up into our rehearsal location. Rehearsals will end at the marked time, and so if you're if you're wanting to time things as a parent as far as pickup goes, I would say if you're pulling up like 10 to 15 minutes after the end of rehearsal, don't worry about it. That's probably when they're going to start coming out. I say 10 to 15 minutes, even though they're going to arrive 20 minutes early, because for some reason, magically, everything takes longer to set up than it does to tear down. For some reason, tearing down goes much faster. Probably because everybody wants to go home. So we will have 4 rehearsals over winter break, December 20th through the 23rd. That is primarily like drill camp. Let's learn the dots for the show and get things put on the floor. Time for that is to be determined. That's a me thing right now. That's on my to-do list. I need to talk with our athletic director and get our facility scheduled there and make sure that we have a time set aside for us and a space set aside for us. If we are competing on Saturdays, we will still have rehearsals on Sundays. That does make for a long weekend for the students. We understand it makes a long weekend for us as well. But that is pretty much the way the activity works. As you go into the upper classes of the organization, and especially the independent groups, a lot of independent groups, you drive to your rehearsal location on Friday night. You stay overnight Friday night and Saturday night, and basically you just rehearse all weekend if you're in one of those upper class groups. But they're usually also independent groups, and they draw people from all over the place. So that's how they can kind of make rehearsals work too, is to just say, give us your weekends. So our list of competitions is here for the season. This is also on the website. We did have one thing that changed fairly early on, and that was March 6th. We were scheduled to be at Downers Grove South for a competition. That competition was canceled by the school's administration. And so at Plainfield Central, we were offered to host a percussion and winds contest. I pled with the color guard director for Midwest Color Guard Circuit, please let us just take everybody that was at that Downers Grove South show and just tell them to come to Plainfield Central instead. He said no. It's just going to be a winds and percussion show now, but we're going to have the Winter Guard perform in exhibition at that show since it's at our school. It's another opportunity to perform. Everything else that you see is on there, and we are planning for. So, for example, at the bottom, it says pending approval as far as WGI World Championships is concerned. To address that, I spoke with my administration this week, last week. I'm not sure at this point. And he said that these are partially like not official school organizations. I'm not exactly sure how or why. But the good news about that is that he said that the Board of Education doesn't have to approve our trip. I'm like, oh. Well, that's really cool. Said, but I'm a little concerned in that we're using school, accounts. We're using school facilities. It's only open to Plainfield schools. So if something goes wrong, who gets sued? And so that's a question that we're working out. Hopefully it's never an issue, but it's something that is very important to make sure that everybody's on the same page about and that everybody knows what one another is doing. So hopefully that's not something that turns into a roadblock, but if it does, it'll be my responsibility to take care of, and I will make sure that it is. So member dues, if you were part of the organization last year, this was a significantly lower number. We'll get into the numbers and how the breakdown works in terms of how we're using all of the funds that are being provided here. So we do have member dues of $600. Individual payment plans, you can definitely do that. $150 a month, December, January, February, and March. That works really easily. But if you need to set something else up, please reach out to me directly. We do not want the finances of being involved in the activity to limit anyone or prohibit anyone from participating. So we have fundraising opportunities that will start after auditions. And certainly if you want to work something out other than just the $150 a month, if you'd like to say, hey, can we give you some money here in November and skip December and do January? I know for everybody, sometimes the holiday bills come due in January, and it's like, we still gotta find $150 for Winter Guard. So if there's a different way that you want to be able to work things out, I'm happy to. Communication is key about those things. Just let me know what's going to work best for you, and we'll certainly work it out. Speaking of fundraising, this is with Crema Coffee House over on Lockport Street in downtown Plainfield. I think it's great that we're able to work with somebody local instead of a national company. I think you get some local recognition with the business. I think the people around the area know it and know it as a higher quality over some of the other options in the area. So we have 3 different varieties of coffee. They cost $16 a bag for people to purchase, whole bean or ground. So if you're that person that likes to grind their own coffee every morning, there you go, you're good. And then $5 per bag will go towards a student's member dues, or $4 on a bag of decaf, just because decaf costs us $1 more. So instead of making it $16 or $17 a bag, we figured it was just easier to keep it at $16 a bag, just for simplicity's sake. We'll get order sheets out to students at the first rehearsal, or I'll probably have them ready to hand out at the audition day, so that once we have the group set, it's like, all right, here you go. Go to town and do your fundraising if you want to knock some money off of your member dues. That'll be due 11/28, and we'll get them in time for everybody for the holidays. What'll happen is we'll just bring the order to rehearsal. Once we get it, we'll distribute it to the students at that rehearsal, and then it is their responsibility to deliver their orders to the people who purchased from them. So I do want to make sure that we're transparent with everybody so that we understand how and where the money is going, where it's coming from. So if we're at our 30-member maximum and $600 per member, that gives us $18,000 for an initial budget. There's our instructor compensation, music licensing. So for example, for the music for the show, we actually have to pay to get permission to use that music. WGI will not let you compete without it. And if you don't get it, it's a copyright infraction, and nobody wants that. So, and also paying for drill to be written and our contest fees, of floor and costumes at $5,500. And even in this case, as far as the floor goes, we're trying to be as frugal as we can and make dollars stretch. So we're the day before Thanksgiving, we're going to take a trip to Michigan, Kelsey and I and a few friends, and go pick up a tarp from Jenison High School, because it fits well with our show. And that way it's, I don't know, $800 instead of $2,000 for a floor. So we've got some budget set aside for set pieces to help enhance the production quality of the show, and then also a budget for transportation as well. So that's kind of the general breakdown of things. I'm sure along the way, some of those numbers might fluctuate, and it might, Kelsey might come to you and say, well, we really need this. And we'll have a conversation and say, okay, well, how do we make that work? How do we change some things around? Or maybe some things come along and we don't end up needing to change our budget numbers around. We do have sponsorship options, and this is for our families. This is for our community members. This is for local businesses. So if you work someplace that might be interested in sponsoring the group, if you own a business and would like to sponsor the group, we have some options here. On the long distance vision end of this activity, I would love to see both the Winter Guard and percussion have their own trailers, so that we don't necessarily need to borrow things from the bands. In the meantime, we'll try to borrow some things from the band, but I think it'd be great if we were able to get our own trailer at some point, but a new trailer is like $20,000. So that's where this like Founders Club $5,000 sponsorship comes over here all the way through. So this is just kind of a breakdown, and we tried to make it so that anybody who's interested in supporting Plainfield Winter Guard has a way to do so, and that nobody feels like they'd be priced out of helping, or that they're, frankly, that their money's not enough. So anybody who wants to support us, we're absolutely welcoming that. There is a page on the website with this information on it as well. So for example, the advertisements, this is going to be in the contest for the percussion show. So it's just listed as our home contest program. This year it's a percussion and winds show, but Winter Guard will perform. Hopefully in future years, we're able to consistently secure a show that is, guard, winds, and percussion entirely. If you are interested or know somebody who might be interested, please feel free to connect with me on that. My email address is going to be on the end of our slides. In addition, you may or may not have noticed that on our breakdown of finances, transportation to WGI, hotel accommodations for WGI, those things were not on there. We have set up a bowling outing in conjunction with the percussion organization as well, to be a fundraiser evening for both groups. And so this should help us pay for transportation and hotel accommodations, hopefully some food too for the kids, because it's one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, we're taking a trip for 3 days to Dayton. Oh, can you bring $100 for food? And it's like, wait a minute, I thought this group cost $600. Now it costs $700. Then it costs $800. So we're trying to not come back to families to ask for more money along the way. So this can be absolutely anybody that wants to come out and support the groups. So it does not necessarily have to be you. If you want to come to the event, we'd love to have you. But at the same time, we understand that you're already paying a certain amount of money to be part of the group, and that you may not want to pay an additional $50 or $100, or family of four is $200. I totally get it. But part of the $50 attendee, you can see, is 2 hours of bowling, food, drink, shoes, 2 raffle tickets, and it also includes a $25 Bolero gift card. So anybody that wants to go to this, it's automatically like you're only paying $25. And of this, I think it's $18 or $19 that we're raising for the groups. And so before the event even starts, we'll have raised over $4,000 if each family in both organizations either sells or buys 5 tickets to the event. We are asking people to contribute an item for raffle or silent auction. You do not have to go out and purchase that item. There are plenty of organizations that would be willing to donate. Just as an example, we could certainly find local restaurants that we could get gift cards donated from, and that could be your item. You could get a $25 or a $50 gift card donated from a local business. That can be your raffle item. And then maybe we take 3 or 4 of those from local businesses, put them into a basket, and it's, a taste of Plainfield basket. So that's something that could easily work out really well. Again, I strongly suggest go out and find people to donate things. You don't have to feel obligated to, again, lay out more money towards the organization to be able to provide this. Businesses are most frequently willing to donate with or part with products versus parting with, gift cards or cash or anything like that. If they can donate a product and their company name is on it, I think they're a lot more interested in that. So that might be a good route for anybody to go. By the time we're all done for that evening, I would love to see us raise somewhere between $12,000 and $15,000. And I think that it's definitely possible between the ticket sales for the night, between 50-50 raffle and raffle items and silent auctions. I think it can really be a very successful event for the evening. And that can absolutely pay for all of our students to go to WGI World Championships without coming back to parents and, again, asking for more money. So at this point, I wanted to actually check in with Kelsey and ask if you wanted to share the music for the season, or if you're wanting to keep that a secret still. Well, okay.
Secret.
Not yet.
Secret.
All right, fair enough. So this is a great time for us to go ahead and open things up and ask questions, and we'd be happy to give you the best answers that we have at the time. You're welcome to unmute and ask, or you can type in the chat and ask as well, whatever you're most comfortable with. This happened in the percussion meeting too, and then it was like, oh, okay, nobody has any questions? Great, have a good night. And then somebody's like, oh, wait. We'll give you a minute. I must have done a much better job tonight than I did on last night. Team jacket. I'm definitely in the back of my head already prepping for like show shirts and member jackets and that sort of thing. Yes, definitely. And I'm hoping to see all of those things end up being paid for through sponsorships. In the past, I've gotten show shirts donated by local companies if they can, put their logo on the sleeve or something like that. And so that is definitely something that I will be working on. Jill, go ahead. You want to go ahead and unmute yourself there? You should have some controls at the bottom of your screen, and one of them is a microphone. There you go.
Is it working now?
Yeah.
There we go. Just my question was, do we have all 4 of the high schools represented with kids, or do we have kids from all 4 schools this time?
At the moment, we do not yet. It is Central and North at the moment. So we are working through that. We are communicating with each of the 4 schools' directors. And we're doing the best that we can to get students from the other schools. Obviously, with our color guard instructors being located at Central and North, it's really easy for our guard instructors to talk to our students, and they're very excited about it. And with me being involved in the organization, I'm talking to band members about Winter Guard as well. I have sent a number of emails on behalf of both groups, percussion and Winter Guard, to help ask the band directors to promote to their students. So we're going to keep at that. I would love to be able to truly say that the organization is represented by all 4 schools.
Yeah.
I think that it
Thank
should
you.
be. Yeah. So if anybody knows anyone at East or South in their color guards, or you can get a hold of them on social media or that sort of thing, direct them to plainfieldwinterguard.org. That's where all of the membership information is. That's where audition registration is. And once people fill out the audition registration form, then of course we'll also communicate with them via email because we know they're interested.
Yes.
And I know that as I close things out, someone will be like, wait, I have a question. So I'll say our email addresses are there on the screen. I'm sure they're also somewhere on the website that you can get a hold of us. So thank you all for coming this evening. We'll stick around for a little bit. If you have questions, please let us know. I'll post the Google Slides on the website. I'll post this video on the website as well. So if anybody needs the information later to go back to, you're absolutely more than welcome to do so. Or if you want to share that information with other people, you can do that too. We'll hang around and answer questions if anybody has them. But otherwise, thank you all for coming this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So,
Thanks.
Bye. Thank you.
oh, that was Caitlin, or that was Kathy.